Oh. All right, we're in. Sorry, late start today. It's already 9:10. Dang. How we doing today? Good morning, Jomi. How was your late night party session? I'm good. I had a morning breakfast, so I missed. I guess I told you already. So I'm starting a little late today. I'm a little disheveled. It was 6:30 a.m. when you went to bed. Hey Kai, how's it going? Lots of stuff happened. Good stuff or bad stuff? No, when you left? Oh, dang. That's nuts. That's super late. I don't think I've ever... Good stuff, I guess. Nice. Glad to hear it. It's always good when good stuff happens. It's better to have good stuff than to have bad stuff, I think. Oh, I ran some benchmarks overnight. See how they look. It's weird that I don't know what happened to Rust. What a crazy freaking scatter plot these are. It's interesting that this one, so this column is when the components are like packed together. So like a position is like an X and a Y. And this is when the components are not packed together. So there's like position X and there's position Y. So they're just packed differently. It's weird that there's this big drop right here. Strange. That's also weird. We did a pre-drink, then party, kissed a girl, then went somewhere else after the party. All right. We brought croissants on the way back because the bakery was open. That's my boy Jomi, drinking beer, kissing girls. I love to hear it. That's awesome. Sounds like you had a good night then. Croissants is such a European thing, I feel like. I guess we also have croissants here, but I feel like it's like kind of less common. Didn't steal government property. Uh-oh. Good thing the stream isn't being recorded, so because they'll be able to watch this. They'll probably play. They're gonna play this stream at your trial and be like, Jomi, here's proof that you stole stuff from the government, and that's all they'll know. You admitted to it, but I said I didn't. Yeah. Oh, gotcha. Oh, so you're just being honest. Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense then. Jomi did tax fraud. If you guys didn't know this, Jomi's kind of a bad boy. Jomi wears leather jackets and sunglasses inside. Normal thing to do on a night out. Yeah, more like a morning out. If you stayed up till, I always do tax fraud when I'm drunk. Are you super hungover? I don't know how you stayed up that late. I don't know how you're awake already either. I went to bed at like 11. I guess I woke up pretty early. I woke up at like 7. Oh, if you guys haven't seen, I did post in the Discord, but you can log right in. It's now hosted. But warning, this doesn't work on, it doesn't work unless you're on Linux, apparently. Yeah. So if you're on Linux, this might work. But if you're on Windows or Mac, I don't think it works. Unfortunately. View is stuck in a corner. Oh, did it fix? Someone's here. Oh, there's another person. Oh shoot, what happened? That's so weird. Look at this. Oh, it went up there. There we go. Yeah, it might be super laggy just because you're far away. Yeah. I'm really close to the server, so the latency is low enough to where it doesn't. I don't have any interpolation code, basically. So what happens is like your client moves your character, and then you're also telling the server that you're moving, and then the server says, actually, like you're over here, and then it snaps you back. So you kind of like jitter like this, doot 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 doot, as you get updates from the server. There we go. We got 3, 4. Look at that. Now we're a proper MMO. 4 is pretty massive. Me and Conifer went. Uh-oh, someone's in the ocean. Yeah, there's no collision detection, so heads up on that. Exactly, humble beginnings. Me and Conifer and Jomi was trying to help too, but it wasn't working on his computer. But we logged in like 24 different tabs, and I think we crashed it. So yeah, there we go. Uh-oh, someone's going really far north. Or did they teleport? Or they might have logged out. Look at that. Oh, everyone stopped. I think that was me. My W key was stuck. Yeah, so what can happen, I've noticed, is that if you hold down a key and then you click off on something else, it doesn't detect the key up. So you have to like re-hit the, you have to press the key again for it to detect the, there's a lot of people. I don't know if this is different people or this is someone who's opened multiple tabs though. Also the scrolling, don't try to scroll too much or you might end up like this, in the upside down. I've got 4 tabs, okay. This is Kai then. Yeah, I want to get Windows and Linux working. Or Windows and Mac, I mean. But it's a good start, I think. We're also using like a ton of bandwidth to do this. A ton of bandwidth that doesn't need to be used, I think. Whew, bless me. Oh, it does work here on Windows. Interesting. Yeah, I'm on Google Cloud. No, I want to go to Git, MMO, deploy. Uh-oh, lots of bandwidth, Google Cloud, top 10 recipe disaster. Yeah, we can look. Let me open it off screen really quick, and then I'll go to the logs. I really need to bookmark this because I'm always having to click through a billion things to get here. Yeah, look how much this is like the micro instance. So I mean, like, it's not lots of bandwidth, but it's more than I should be using. Like, we're using 20 kilobytes per second, basically in and out. And also, like, as a lot of people log in, like, this ends up using a lot. I'm curious what that's caused by, but it's also weird. I guess this is logs, but you can see, I think if I go to 1 day, yeah, this is where we logged in a bunch of people. So it stays pretty low. I think I think the problem must be then, because this was with like 24 people or what? Wait, this is hard to, oh, I can zoom in like this. Perfect. 118. That's kind of a lot. Yeah. I think the frequency with which I send updates is too frequent. Oh yeah. Is that a helpful command? What is it? rm-rf/. I was hoping that the control C wouldn't end up. I was hoping it would just run. You prankster. You prankster, you. Yeah, but CPU ends up getting, yeah, like, this is a lot of bandwidth. I guess there was like 24 players. I also don't have very much packet. At least you didn't pull out the apt purge Python. I don't know what that does. I've never heard of apt purge, but I don't use apt that much. So yeah, there's obviously some networking stuff that needs to be improved, but I think it's a good start. The humble beginnings. I like that. I'm fairly sure it bricks Ubuntu if you're using that. I'm on Debian, so it's Ubuntu. That's what Ubuntu is based on, I think. But yeah, it was fairly easy to get it to work. The hardest part was getting the was like updating the Go proxy, the proxy server, to like use TLS, and getting all the. I guess I sent a list in Discord which had all the stuff I had to do. Hey Dracula. Oh, I like it. Now you're in the upside down. Only Ubuntu affected because it relies too much on stinky Python. Oh, I see. Gotcha. Check it out, Dracula. You can go play the MMO now. There's some compatibility issues as a warning, so it might not work. Also, if you're on your phone, it's not going to work if it's on your phone. And you get a random hat. Oh, nice. I'm in. You get a random hat assigned at birth. Yeah, I don't know what happened. I don't know what I changed with scrolling to cause that, but I changed something. Next, I need to add like next, I think I was gonna do either chat. I was gonna do chat, network optimizations, or collision detection. And maybe add some like boxes or a house or something like that. I have Leaf. Usernames. Nah. Well, the problem is, so the problem with doing usernames is like, to have usernames, I have to have like some sort of authentication. Chat sounds like a good idea. Oh, you don't like that? Well, to do chat, I guess you kind of have to have usernames, don't you? Yeah, so I guess I could do authentication and then add usernames on top of that. Or I could do fake names. Like, I could just do randomly generated usernames too. Or better yet, do your work so you don't get fired like Unit and become an unemployed programmer. Yeah, that's true. You get a random hat assigned at birth. Sounds like a prompt for one of the cringy TikToks. I should make it a TikTok. You guys are gonna start seeing YouTube shorts from me, and it's gonna be like, check out the random hat you get assigned at birth. But yeah, this is this. But yeah, that's that. The deploy is really not that hard, but I ended up writing like a Google Cloud script, or a script that just executes copying the binary over. So that wasn't too hard to do. Unit doesn't want to end up like me. I think I already have. We both don't have jobs. I tell people I'm an entrepreneur now. Little do they know that just means I don't have a job. You have experience. Yeah, exactly. Oh, there's also this issue that Conifer pointed out, where I don't have any, like, I don't have deterministic draw order. I know how to enable this, I just haven't. You just have to sort the sprites in a certain direction. It's also interesting when you zoom in too far, because there's only one tile type, it looks like I'm moving. It's hard to tell which one I'm moving, you know? Why don't you like the chat idea, TLK? Why do you think chat's a bad idea? I don't think chat would be too hard to do. I would just have to have a new, I have to have an, moderation. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that, did I? I'm sure that there's like I could probably have some like auto filtering thing where once you send a message, the server just says like, is this a bad word? And then cancels your message if it's a bad word. But like, I can't catch all of it. I just have to make it as hard as possible to say things like unit sucks and unit's an idiot. Like, I'll block stuff like that probably. I think authentication wouldn't be that hard though, because now I have TLS for the WebSocket connection. So all I have to do is have another, like once you log in, once you log in, you just have to log in with like OAuth to something else, and then you'll get a token, and then you'll send it to my server. Then my server has to talk to the OAuth backend, I think, and then validate who you are, and then give you a username based off of that. I think Google has an API that detects toxicity of a message or something like that. Oh, that's kind of cool. Yeah. I probably won't do that much in terms of chat filtering. I'll probably just be like, oh, you said a cuss word? You can't send that message. No swear words, exactly. Very sadness. I'll let you say one. You guys get to pick one swear word, and we'll leave that one in, but nothing else. Only one. Only one swear word. Maybe like crap. How do you guys feel about that being the swear word you can use? I'll let crap through. Like, what the crap? You crap and crap? Make a new channel on Discord for discussing? Oh, like in the game? Well, I have the feel like it's not like this is going to be like an actually massive game, but so I don't think I need like too much chat or too much chat moderation. I just need to be able to right click on. I need to find people's users, find Conifer, right click on them, and click ban IP address. I've implemented authentication with Firebase once. Oh, nice. What like how did you do that? Like, what did you? Does Firebase let you like does Firebase manage the user accounts and passwords? Or does it use OAuth for something else? Like, does it use it like what's it called? Does he like use like Google Auth? I don't know the exact like words people use to describe this stuff. Yeah, it does. Okay. Sorry, I have this problem where like I'll suggest two things, and I think you say like yes to the first one. So I assume you're saying yes to the first one. Like Firebase does it itself, or Firebase? Yeah. Does Firebase do you manage your user accounts, or does somebody else manage the user accounts? Oh, I need to update my description with the MMO link. Then I have a server that uses the Firebase API to check the token from the user. First option, indeed. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, so I was hoping not to have to manage any user data. That's what I was planning to use like OAuth. But it's hard to do that, because then if someone wants to have a user account, like a username, then like I kind of have to manage that at least. I'm thinking for MMO, we should make it exclusively linked in OAuth, no other option. What do you mean? Yeah, like that's what I was planning to do. Like I was planning to use OAuth to get the user token and then just pass that over to the backend server when the WebSocket connection gets opened. And then after that, I'm pretty authenticated. Like then your connection is basically linked to your account and you know who you are. But I do think if I want to manage things like user accounts, usernames, you know, I have to manage like usernames, and then you have to have like input forms and stuff like that. I guess I could generate like random names for people, but that's the hard part. That's like, then you get into this like the nitty gritty of like, and I think this is one of the harder things about doing software engineering is like the minor details are the hard things. It's like, oh yeah, I'll let people have their own username. How hard could that be? And it's like, actually, you need quite a lot to manage that now. Yeah, my site's hosted on Firebase though, so, but right now this is a very simple system. Yeah, I am using a lot of bandwidth though. I've thought about using Auth0 maybe. What exactly is it? Kratos? Pricing. Oh, I hate stuff. I hate when companies do this, like a pop-up bot, like, hey, talk to me. Get Auth0 free with 7,000 active users and unlimited logins. That's pretty cheap. How much? The problem is like I feel like this isn't that. I guess maybe as a starting point, this could be an easy thing to start with. I'm not familiar with all of this authentication stuff. Yeah, pop-up bots are just the worst. I didn't think that through. Kratos, OAuth. Yeah. The problem is there's a lot of like when you start managing like user data, you start having to like I know that like it's easy to like gloss over the fact that like you do have like some you have some kind of like not requirement, I can't think of the right word, but you have some kind of like credibility, and like you need to protect your users' data. So like that's the part that I don't really want to like worry about that much. Like I'd prefer if somebody else managed it and I just like hook into that. Oh, Ori. Oh, I thought you were typing ORY. OR I meant. Software instructor. What does that mean? Zero trust. Auth0 is similar to Firebase Auth. Yeah. I was thinking of doing some kind of OAuth technology. I really don't need OAuth. I think I just need OpenID. I think that's like the authentication. I don't need authorization really. Because as soon as you authenticate as it, I don't need to give you roles or anything like that. I just need to know who you are. OpenID Connect implements OAuth. I thought what I understood it as, I thought OpenID was the authentication, and then OAuth is the authorization. Oh, I'm thinking of something different. OpenID is something different than what I was thinking of. What do they call it? OAuth versus, I don't know. Can't really have OpenID Connect without having OAuth beneath it. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm mixing it up with something else. There's something else which is for the authentication, which is a part of OAuth. Oh my gosh. That was surprising. Somebody's got a billion tabs. I wonder who that could be. Look at that. Oh, this is new connections. I wonder what 20 lot. We have 20 active users. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I assume there's 3 people here. I see there's at least 2, but I think there's 1 extra person. Oh man, my window's so messed up. I don't know what happened. Oh, there we go. Look at all these errors. I think what happens when the messages get so big, I think they overuse the buffer, and I think the deserialization gets messed up. So I need to better track that, like how much data actually gets sent in a packet. Could have a sign in with Steam button or something. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I'm trying to do like the easiest. I'm trying to do what's easy for now. And I think as soon as I implement some kind of OAuth thing, I think it won't be hard to add other OAuth providers like Steam or whatever, like Steam or what have you. Yeah, 74 kilobytes per second. I don't know how much this is gonna run me. It can't cost that much, right? A lot of logouts, and there were just a few. Famous last words. Yeah, I don't know how much this is gonna cost. It's like when you go to a restaurant and you don't know the bill. Google's gonna hunt you down. Yeah, I think I put in Jomi's credit card info. Oh, packet size. That's interesting. I wonder if oh, that's kind of weird. Pay for bandwidth is scary because someone will eventually DDoS you and cost you money. Yeah. Wow. What a complicated thing. What the heck? I've never looked at this before. I want to change this to max. Time to invite everyone in my group chat to join with 20 tabs. Well, the nice part is that it's on one, like there's only so much bandwidth that there's only so many concurrent users that this tiny little host can muster. Like the packet size gets bigger because of having so many, what's it called? Because of having so many things that need to be serialized. But I imagine that like if it gets bigger than 3 kilobytes, then it would overrun the receive buffer. I just don't know how to look at this. I'm not that familiar with it. Yeah, exactly. O squared packet size. Yeah, 100%. Like that's exactly what I have. But there is no like, oh, you've updated this guy recently, so why don't you do this guy next? Anyways, still cool. I'm still happy with how it is. I'm happy with where we're at. And yeah, now we're here. Still works. Perfect. A little bit jittery, but it doesn't even matter. Not a problem. I think it got more jittery since so many people logged in. There's definitely some problems that need to be fixed, but we'll fix them. Anyways, that was that. What was I gonna work on today? I said I was gonna do deployment stuff, but I kind of already did it. There's some cleanup I guess I could work on. Exactly. I need to switch over to Java now and then do a benchmark. Go versus Java MMO series. Return to the enterprise life. Oh gosh, that'd be so sad. Oh, make it work Mac and Windows. That's true. How would I do that though? Conifer was saying that there's a way to do a Mac VM, but I don't know if I believe him. Or at least if there is a way to do Safari support, yeah. The problem is I don't have a Mac. And it might be hard, I guess. Why does it not work on Mac and Windows? That is the question, yeah. Yep, I don't know. Well, I think TLK, you used it on Windows, right? You said it worked. It's not just Safari. I think you can run a Mac VM fine these days. How do you though? Windows works fine? I thought the other day someone else tested with Windows, it didn't work. I thought Conifer did maybe. Well, Jomi was trying with multiple browsers. What do I want to search for? My guess is that OpenGL is not receiving any input from the user. I tested 4 different browsers. A Conifer using Netscape. Dang. On Linux. Actually, I might have one of these. I don't know what's on it though. Let me, I might actually have one. Where are you? No, I didn't put it there. Projects? Documents? Videos, planning, no. ISO, no. I hope I didn't delete it. I 100% had a Windows VM at one time, but OpenGL didn't work on it, so I think I might have like given up. Sorry, I'm like flipping through my folders trying to find this thing. I don't think it's there. Nope. Oh, Kimu. Yeah, here it is. Okay. I just had it local. Let's see here. Hopefully this doesn't like crash my stream or anything, but let's give it a shot. Oh, that's Ubuntu. Oh, I have it here. All right, let's give this a shot. She's booting. Uh-oh. Actually, I think I remember it failing the first time, and then the second time it always works. Booting again. I might need to log into this and just see what's on here before I expose myself. I hope you have the Windows 10 Business Ultra Deluxe Edition. Of course I do. Okay, can't install. Okay. This is terrible experience. I hate this already. Windows is the worst. How do I close that pop-up? I don't know how. Okay. Chrome. Oh, what is it? Control Alt G. Oh gosh. Let's see here. unit.dev/MMO. I wonder if something happened. Windows became garbage after 7. Yeah. You have toured a little longer? Is this broken? Works here. I have to wait longer, you think? Oh my gosh. What is going on? This is just like the website. All right, I guess we're installing Chrome. I bet WASM isn't even supported. Shoot. I don't know, dude. How old is that browser? That's a good question. Chrome, download. Look at this shit. I search for Chrome download in Bing, and the first thing that pops up is switch to the browser recommended by Microsoft. Like, no, dude. I want to do what I want to do. Yeah, I think you guys are right. I think it's just that, oh my gosh. Like, I'm clicking the download Chrome button, but nothing's happening. Yeah, let's try Firefox. Firefox download. Official browser download. Opera. Like, what? Sorry. I just have to do this on the other screen. Run. I really should just set up like a new VM. We're installing. We're getting there. You might need to do some hacker type before it'll work. Couldn't load XPCOM. What? Okay. I don't think this is gonna work, guys. I'm gonna have to yeah, this is just completely messed up. I'm gonna give up. I'm gonna have to work on this stuff. I have to set up another VM, I think. I give up. I get this error on Chrome, on Windows, So that's from this file. Where are you? MMO, CMD build, WASM exec, 536. Go program has already exited. Global this, go resume. Interesting. If you refresh the browser, does it go away? It loops infinitely, blank page. Yeah, I've been having some there's some issues with this running on Windows and Mac for some reason. I'm not sure what that is yet, but there is something wrong with it, and I need to figure that out. But I don't have a Mac, and I also don't have Windows, unfortunately. So this is I learned my lesson about compatibility. So I'll have to like install Windows on my laptop or something and just see how it does. But that might be hard for that might be a hard thing to stream. Yeah, thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, it's getting there. There's still no like latency compensation, or there's no lag compensation, so it just stutters around. Yeah, I do wonder why it works for you, TLK. I think that it might just be some like I don't know, some like you might have some different version of something that they don't have. Are you guys on Windows 10 or Windows 11? Or like, yeah, what version of Windows are you guys on? Win 10? It doesn't work for you either, Dracula? 10 on Chrome? Okay. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure the reason yet. Doesn't work on iPhone Chrome either. Yeah, I think that phones are not gonna, what doesn't work? Like logging in. Usually, like the story that I've heard from most people is that like they can log into this screen, but they can't, like there's no UI interaction happening. Like they can't click on buttons. You just get a white page. Heaven just gets a white page, looks like. So there's some like, it sounds like there's some different issues. Zorinos? I don't know what that is. Well, there's somebody. So there's some problems with Windows. Windows is maybe a little bit better than Mac though. For me, it works on Chrome fine. Oh, so it's working for Dracula on Windows too. I wonder what version of Windows, or I guess Heaven has 10. I don't know what Jomi had. Jomi's on a Mac actually, never mind. So I'll have to refigure this out. I wish there was a way to like change software version, like what I want to do is I want to test this on a bunch of different. Oh, Firefox works. Just tried it. Interesting. There you go. Man, there's a lot of jitter or a lot of snapping, but I'll take this error. Or actually, I want to put it here. That's an interesting error to have. I wonder what that means. I need to look into like what's causing that. I want to do, how do I edit this now? Yeah, I think I have the fix already coded for jittering. Like, well, there's two improvements to do here. Let me go here. Flow. No, that's something different actually. I commented it out because I was having, it was hard to differentiate like some rendering artifacts that I was seeing. So I was trying to turn off the compensation because it was smoothing some rendering problems, and I wanted to debug the rendering problems, so I commented this code out. And then I think things have changed a lot since then. Physics. Nope, I guess not there. Might be in rendering actually. Sprite. Yeah, I had this code. Let's see here. This is all like very old stuff, but the idea is the same, I think. I'm trying to remember what exactly I did. Oh, so what I basically did is I had a physics position that like what happens is that the server tells you what your position is, but the client's trying to predict your position at the same time. So what happens is the server physics simulation puts you in a different spot because it has different inputs, because there's a little bit of delay with you sending your inputs to the server. So what can happen is basically like the server tells you where you are, and then the client says, oh, the server told me I'm here, so it snaps you back there. But then like you've already sent some inputs and you've already predicted yourself based off of previous things. So there's kind of two ways to fix it. One of them is just like you can just interpolate between the server position, which is this one, and the render position, which I set to be here. And then it just smooths that jittering down a little bit. So you get the rubber banding effect now, rather than just snapping around, which is a little bit better. So you need that's good for like small amounts of jitter, like positional jitter, I think. But then there's also that problem that I mentioned before where the server tells you where you are, but you've already predicted yourself a little bit. So what you need to do is you have to track at what time the server told you where you were. Then you need to replay your inputs from that time, and then you can more accurately predict where you are. I don't know if that makes sense. Like maybe I can draw it. Like you're here. Let's do we'll do white for where the client thinks he is, and then we'll do blue for where the server thinks he is. So like white, you're like walking this way. Yeah, unit drawing, yay. So I don't have my drawing tablet, so this is all mouse. So you're here, but let's say the server, like the server has a little bit of delay from you have this input which is moving you, you know? So this is like you at time 1, this is you at like time 2. So like, let's say the server thinks you're also at the same spot, like you're stopped, right? Then you press the arrow key, and then at time 2, now you're here, and then at time 3, now you're there, right? But there's delay. Let's say there's a 1 frame delay from your from when the server receives it. So the server doesn't receive your input yet. So the server says like, oh, actually, like you're still in this spot for time 2, right? But you've moved here, so you snap back there. And then eventually the server moves you here. The server moves you here on like frame 3. But then like, this is getting, I feel like I'm not explaining this very well because I need to have the input change. Like let's go we'll go one extra level, and then you turn. Let's say you turn here. I think this will work. Sorry, this is kind of like off the top of my head, so I don't know if exactly I'm explaining it properly. But so like now you're a frame behind, you know, and let's say it happens again. But the input's still the same. So you're at frame 4, but the client's at kind of like frame 3 because you're a frame behind. But the position's in the same thing. But now the client's predicting you're going to be here based off of the input. You're going to be there. But the server doesn't receive that input yet. So the server is predicting that you're continuing on. And then the server receives the input. Or sorry, whoops. Now the server receives this input. And like there's other stuff happening, obviously, you know. And it snaps you over here now. So now you've effectively snapped down, or sorry, you think you walked to this path, but the server thinks you walked to this path because it has a 1 frame delay, and that's a 1 frame delay. So that's like a 16 millisecond because I'm at 30, or I guess that's like 33 milliseconds because I'm at 30 hertz. I think that's my network tick time is. But so you snap over. So now imagine that for like a 300. Now it's 10 frames. So now you're snapping 10 frames across. And if there's a big lag spike or something like that, then it could be even more. Sorry, if you sent a link, it probably Google probably blocks it. They don't let links through, like the chat doesn't. So I just got this. Yeah, there's a name for this. It's like client-side prediction. But basically, how you fix it is you keep a little buffer of the client's inputs, and then you replay it. Like the server, what you would do is you'd say like, oh, the server said you're here, and your input for the next frame was this one, so you replayed it there. And then now the server says you're here, but your next frame for this one is that one. So you know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. Yeah, Valve has a good one. There's a lot of good articles about this stuff. It's like a pretty, it's something replay. There's a name for it. It's, I don't remember exactly what it is. It's like client-side replay or something like that. This seems like a good article, but But you basically track. I don't track tick numbers, so you basically track tick numbers now, and that ends up being like the world time replay mod. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Oh, it shows your replays. Interesting. But you basically track a buffer of like my input was like this way, and then it was this way, and then it was this way, and then it was this way, and then when you're here in the buffer, you just replay these ones, and then when you're here, you just replay these ones, and then when you're here, you just replay this one. If that makes sense. So based off of where the client knows like the server says you're here for tick 4, and the client replays all the tick 4 stuff essentially, and so that decreases the amount of prediction that has to happen. But yeah, that's basically that. It looks like I have 2 people snapped in. Yeah, it's really jittery now. Cool though, we're making progress. I'm just gonna discard that. But yeah, that's what I had done. That's what I originally done. That smoothed it out quite a bit. But if you're at high latency, you just get rubber banding. I can't remember if I did anything else. I definitely didn't do the replay part. That's a little bit harder. But thanks for letting me oh, here we go. Whoops. This one. Yeah, so right now I'm doing kind of like a naive prediction. But if you do the replay prediction, you get a little bit better performance. Or you get a little bit better, what do you call it? It gets a better prediction. Because it's based off of the tick that the server said you were on. But anyways. Anywho. I wonder actually, I'll close that. Actually get MMO deploy. Well, there's 14 active users. I'm curious what these error messages are. I better go through those. I'm gonna close that. Sorry, I just have too many windows open. So it's printing a lot of user disconnected 26 messages. That's the proxy. 14 tabs from mute. Yeah. So what this means, I think, is that the server is trying to send a message to user 26. So the server and the proxy have gotten out of sync somehow. Let's go to MMO CMD proxy main server main. Yeah, so it's this message, get client con. Like what should be happening is the server should be detecting this. Where do we call this from? So whenever we need to send a message from the server to a client, we need to get the client's connection. Is it broken? I don't see characters anymore. It might be. We might have crashed it. How many people are on? Yeah, look at this. It's dumping the whole buffer now. Oh no, the message header. Holy. Oh, there we go. I wonder if I stop tmux. If I pause tmux, it might pause the process. I don't know. Well, it logged me in. Closed all the tabs, works again. Yeah. So when we're trying to send messages, so part of this list of systems, one of them is server send updates, and this sends the physics update to all of the players. It builds one physics update, sends it to everybody. This builds the update. I probably should have done better load testing before I hosted it, but whatever. Don't want to interrupt the whole time. No, you're good. No, I'm happy to chat. Honestly, when I sometimes I stream and I get some stuff done, but most of the time it's just talking. I swear React hates me. Yeah, it hates everybody. Don't worry. So we get the proxy that the user's at. Let me send an update to that user. I think the problem is that there's no logout message sent for a specific user. Because when this receives the logout message, it should delete that player. So like here, where I have this error sending, actually, is that the message that gets shown? It's also weird that there's these like unmarshal errors, which I don't really like that. I'm actually curious, does this break it? No, okay, it still runs then. That's what I thought. It's just weird that, it's weird that these aren't being tracked properly. Can you give some insight into how long you've been coding and if you've been doing game dev at work too or as a hobby? I'm watching your videos since the beginning and I like them quite a lot. Oh, thanks. Let me get some water really quick and then I'll let you know. Sorry, my throat's like super dry and I have to drink something. Give me 1 second. Oh, that's better. Sorry, I was feeling it. Yeah, I started programming in high school. I went to the library and got a book. Like I wanted to, I guess, rewinding before that, like when I played video games, it was like, oh, like I want to make my own now. You know what I mean? So that's what got me into programming. But that looked like a good error message. Here we go. Sorry, I just didn't want to lose this one. But yeah, so like I wanted to learn how to program so I could make a video game. You know, like that was my objective in high school. Exactly. Yeah. For me, it was RuneScape though. So I played RuneScape in high school and before that, and I was like, oh, this would be fun to make. You know. So it was that, and it was other games too, right? Like on Nintendo 64 and stuff like that. But like I enjoyed that, and it was always like, oh, it'd be cool if like it was always like it'd be cool to make this game, but like add these twists on it, right? So I went to the library and like rented a book about programming in C++, about game programming in C++, and went through that, and then I bought a book on Amazon that was like another like C++ programming book. These were like very like terminal based, and by that I mean like they didn't have like rendering, or one of them had a rendering library on it, but I couldn't get it to work. Like there was some bug and I just like couldn't figure it out. Or I don't know if it was a bug, but there was some incompatibility, and I couldn't get it to work. But so I gave up on that. So I was ended up making like terminal games, you know. But I learned like the fundamentals of like the OOP programming stuff in C++. It was C++. C++ was my first language, because that's what like game devs always recommend, right? Like, yeah, game dev, do C++. And it was just by like happenstance that like that was the book that I got from the library. So I did C++. And then after that, I transitioned to C# and used XNA, which was like the Microsoft game framework. It might be like Mono something now, Mono game now. Did I enjoy C++? At the time, I didn't know enough about languages to know like if what differences there was. So now I realize like, oh, there's a lot better ways. Like at the time, there wasn't like better ways of managing this stuff. So it was like, oh, this is what you have, you know? But now it's like, it would be hard to go back to C++, mostly because of package management to me, I think. I also didn't understand how like dynamic memory management worked at all, right? Like everything was just like, I don't even remember if I used like standard containers, but it was also basic. Like I wasn't having to do very much like array allocations and things like that. But I eventually transitioned to C# and used the XNA framework. I was like, oh, I'll make like a game on, what's it called? On like Xbox or whatever. And so I tried that. I even got like a little rendered thing running and had it running on my Xbox. Like there was some way to link them together over Ethernet. You could like load your binary on your Xbox and play it. So I did that, and that was a fun little experience. I never ended up making a full game because it's hard. It's hard to like make a game and then also release it, right? There's a lot of steps you have to go through. And then after that, what happened? And then after that, I kind of went to college. I did electrical engineering, actually. I didn't do software engineering, which I kind of regret a little bit. I did learn a lot about hardware, which I think was kind of useful. I think it gives me like a little bit of a different twist from what most people know, most software engineers know. So I was more of like a electrical engineer. So I know more like hardware level things. But I did do a few like programming classes in that, but there was a lot of like assembly and like VHDL and hardware design and stuff like that. But it was all very interesting to me. And then after that, then all my jobs I've gotten have been like C, C++, Java, and that's basically it. They've been like that. They've been that all over the place. Like I did a lot of like low level driver development. I did some like Linux, not like kernel level development, but like application level development in Linux for a little while. And then I did web service development for the last like 3 years in Java. And that was fine. I'm not a big fan of Java, but it was okay. The thing I don't like about Java, I feel like they do too much for you, and it's like it's hard to track where certain things come from. So if you need to learn how something works, it's like you just have to know how it worked. Like there's no way to like discover it on your own. So yeah, now here I am. But I've never worked like a game dev job, so I'm definitely not like a professional like game dever or whatever. Like I don't have the like if there is the proper way to do stuff, like I don't know what that is a lot of the time, so I'll have to like figure it out on my own a little bit. But I like Go, obviously, so that's what I use, mostly because it's streamlined and it's very easy. If I had to choose another language, I'd probably do Rust, but there's some things in Rust I'm not a huge fan of, but I think it's overall like a pretty solid language. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know, that's kind of it. So yeah, I'm pretty like self-taught on programming, I'd say. Like I never took like data structures or anything like that. I just like watched, if you do want to learn this stuff, I would recommend going and watching like MIT OpenCourseware. Like the data structures and algorithms class on that was like really helpful. I don't like Java because of strict OOP syntax is too long. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of my story a little bit. So yeah, now here I am. Now I'm unemployed. I quit my job like a little bit ago. So now I'm trying to make a game in Go. I'll try to launch that. We'll see how it goes. And maybe work on a few other things. Maybe do some open source development. Make more YouTube videos. That's kind of my objectives at this point. I'm just a bad programmer. That's all right. Everyone's bad at the start. You did all the good stuff. Yeah, I went the decent route. I think everyone goes their own path, you know, and you learn your own. You figure out your own way of thinking based off of the stuff that you learn. So like I think it's good to not follow like a strict path of learning things, because then everyone thinks the same. I just watched that MIT lesson because my knowledge of data structures is poor. Yeah. No, they're super good. I like how you knew the story with now I'm unemployed. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's the pinnacle objective of all software engineers, to become unemployed. It's a weird loop, right? Because when you first like graduate or whatever, or you first trying to get a job, you're unemployed. And then you get to a job and you're like, man, how nice would it be to go back? I shouldn't be bad. I've been programming since 2008. I don't know. Everyone's got their own level, you know. And there's definitely like there's probably stuff you know that I don't know. So it's not about like I don't think it's about necessarily like comparing yourself to other people. It's about like learning the stuff that you want to learn and building the things you want to build. But that's my positive spin. But I like programming. I think it's interesting to think about like the way people think about solving problems and the way you like abstract problems into smaller problems, or the way you like decompose problems down. Yeah, taking programming breaks will definitely slow your growth a little bit. Oh yeah, and then when I was in college though, I tried really hard to use engines. Like I used Unity a ton, and I was trying really hard to make a game in like Unity. And I was just picking games that were way outside the scope of knowledge that I had. But I did make two. I made like two Unity games. I don't even know if I hate to even like talk about them, but I made two Unity games and launched them on Congregate just as like a little like, ooh, this will be interesting to learn. And then I tried making this like JavaScript browser game. I might even have a picture of it. We could go down a little bit down history road if you guys want. It's maybe I don't know. It's like slightly embarrassing, but you can see some because I keep screenshots of this stuff because I think it's cool to look back on. I don't know. I'm kind of proud of it. But where are you? No. Documents? Screenshots? Videos? No. Oh, I thought I had this stuff. What is this one? Oh, this was some prototype I made. This was also like tower defense too, I guess. Well, that's pretty rough. What did I do? Where is it? I must have some folder somewhere that has this stuff in it, but I can't find it now. I just know I have this somewhere. Sorry, I'm looking at my other thing just because I have like some personal files scattered in here. I really need to separate like my I should have like two logins, like a streaming login, and that way I don't have to worry about this. I don't know. I can't find it right now. Sorry guys. Actually, maybe need to go here. Drive. Nope. Yeah, I don't know. I'll look for it, and then maybe I'll make a little quick video of like the history of me. That could be interesting. Like here's all like crappy games I worked on. I know I have it somewhere, but is it possible to donate? I'm not monetized on YouTube, so no. I thought about making like a Patreon though, if people did want to donate. Obviously, like not required at all, but it'd be cool to like fund it a little bit. But I'm hoping to like make a game and sell it, and then fund it myself. So I was thinking I might do like a Patreon sometime in the future, or maybe do like GitHub sponsors or something. You gotta capitalize the I made Super Mario in 24 hours type of video. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I do need to make my videos more like that, more like slightly more clickbaity. I'm trying to figure out how to make good videos still, I think. So yeah, I'll eventually learn it, but it's not super easy. Yeah, GitHub sponsors. What do you guys think? Not that you necessarily have to sponsor, but it feels weird. It feels weird asking people for money, but at the same time, like I do kind of want to like fund the lifestyle a little bit. So I'm like looking at ways of doing that. So that's why I'm trying to like open source all my libraries. So anyone else has GitHub sponsor? Yeah, a lot of people have GitHub sponsors, and I think they do like reasonably well. But man, I'm kind of bummed I can't find this stuff now. The project has to be heavily involved, large community. Yeah, that's probably true. That's the thing. Like none of my open source repos are like really that big, so I don't know. So like yeah, I don't know. I have to think about it more. It's something I've kind of like toyed around with the idea of, but not really like done any work towards. Tests? No. I don't know. Yeah, I do need to make better videos. I'm still figuring that out though, but I thought about getting DaVinci Resolve. I feel like I could make higher quality videos if I had a better video editor, because I'm still using Shotcut. I know I said I'd get it, but then I was like, maybe I can just write my own little command line video editor or programmatic video editor, and I don't know. That was a lot harder than I thought. Anyways, that's the unit of time history for all those interested. Just released a better version of my WebSocket router. Nice. Can be done with pure Go? What do you mean? With the whole image lib from Go? Yeah, wouldn't that be nuts? Well, like my video, what I do is I use my rendering library to render frames, and then I pull the frame buffer frame and then write it to FFmpeg, who writes it to FFmpeg, who writes it to a video file, and like they do the whole container part. So like that part I have working. Just like it's really hard to build a whole video with all the timing and stuff like that proper. in code. Like it's just a lot of code. It's like, man, it would be nice to just record me like scrolling through a web browser page or something instead of like building this whole like animated thing that I render, you know. But once you make a program that does it for you, it's like now it's very easy. It's like, oh, I want to do this for 10 seconds, and then you cut it. But obviously, it's a little bit harder to like tweak. It's hard to get the tweaks right. Failed to unmarshal. So this is on the receive side. This was on the proxy. Unknown message header 11. How do you like Go for game dev compared to other stuff you know? Do you mean like how do I like Go for like web services versus, or how do I like other languages for game dev? I guess I think Go's a great language for most things. The only downside, the biggest downside I have with Go is interacting with like C libraries can be kind of a pain. But I think Go's like a really good balance of features, I think. The one nice thing that maybe Go would be nice to have in Go is like some of the mutability guarantees that Rust gives. It would be nice to have those in Go, I think. And I don't even know, I know people like algebraic data types. I don't even know if I would want algebraic data types in Go. For some things, it's like, oh, that would be nice to have like an algebraic data type. But like most things, I feel like you should use an interface, not like a tagged union. But like sometimes it's like, oh, this is where I want an algebraic data type. Binary, unmarshal binary. I wonder why this is getting an 11. I must have some serialization issue. Because that should be 0. That should be 1, 2, 3, 4. And I shouldn't have any other message types. I wonder if there's some like offset that's happening or something like that, you know, where like a packet's being fragmented or something weird. But yeah, I think Go's really nice just because of it doesn't have a lot of features to like shoot yourself in the feet with. And then it's also got interfaces, which is like most of the abstraction you need. Some low level things are hard. Like when I was building my ECS, that was kind of painful just because like, oh, generics work like this, but you can't do this stuff with them. So like, and I really don't like code generation because that's kind of a nightmare too. A macro system would be pretty nice too. Honestly, if they just had a really good macro system instead of generics, I'd probably be fine with that because you can implement generics as like a macro, right? You should have networking done with Go is good at that. Yeah, Go is really good for concurrent, like spinning off different like Go routines is really nice. So like it's really easy to do stuff like that, which is one of the nicest parts because it's like, oh, I want to do this thing, but I don't really care. Like I just want it to happen concurrently. That's like really easy to set up. I don't know how hard I've never done that in Rust, so I don't know what it's like to do there, but I don't know why this would be failing unless there's some packet fragmentation, because I don't know how this could possibly be serialized wrong. This is the weird thing with TCP, because I don't think you have any like guarantee that like this is a big packet. 11. It's really hard to look at this and like know what it is, you know? Oops, I accidentally killed the proxy. So if people were logged in, you're now logged out. I guess the 11 active users. Did I leave one logged in? Yeah. Like how people are slowly logging in. Does someone just have a lot of tabs open? I'm just curious. Unmarshal binary. 3 tabs? Okay, yeah. It's interesting that they all log back in though, which is nice. Or it's good. That's how I hope that would work. Yeah, so what's happening here is there's basically none of these. I just don't know why the number is 11. Tagged unions would be nice for messages though, because those I literally want just like a binary packed thing. Yeah, the scroll's all messed up. That's something that needs to be fixed too. If you scroll too far out, it goes negative for some reason. It might have always been like that. I don't remember. Well, it stinks I messed it. Let's do this. Let's do, I should probably do this locally. I'm curious like what triggers this. User disconnected 0. Look at that. It's also increment. It's also weird that they increment. 9, 10. Oh, this is weird. They all have different views. Oh, I guess some people aren't getting. I think once I add enough people, there's no more SerDes errors anymore. I don't know like what changes, or maybe these are still just printing out. Oh, they are. Okay. It's just weird. It's showing like 245. Oh, this is like people logging out. I wonder what happens if I just close all of these. I think when I have a user disconnected message, like if the proxy says the user's disconnected, what the proxy should do is just tell the server, like, hey, this person's disconnected now. I still don't understand this though. That might be some other issue. So I think I'll send a logout message to the server because there's some desync that's happening here, where I'm trying to send a bunch of messages to user 0, but I can't because they've already disconnected. Let's restart. Let's do that. So that's these errors. Yeah, so what should happen is once the WebSocket, I guess that means that the WebSocket, I wonder if failed to forward login message. I wonder if that's happening. Oh wait, no. I want to look at failed to, oh, do I have a printout? Failed to send logout message. Well, supposedly this sent, but maybe there's some client logout. Maybe the server, when I do serve proxy connection, and I receive different message types. Oh, I do have client logout messages. Get printed. Oops. What is it? Surdees.client logout. Oh, I don't print the number. That's not good. Okay, that'll help that print out at least. I think it's generally okay to send duplicate logout messages in that event. I'll be right back. I have to go to the bathroom. And we're back. Working from home programming while watching someone else programming is fun. Yeah. I think it is fun to watch people program too. I've watched some people on Twitch before. It's pretty like, it's good like background. It's a good background distraction, you know? I'm also working from home, but at a service desk, sadly. All good, buddy. On the grind daily. Hey dude, you're on that grind life. You gotta love it. I might wrap this part. This sends the logout message for the thing. Send logout message to server. User ID. Ever watch the Notch Ludum Dare dev streams? I didn't know he did that. I didn't know he streamed. He writes games from scratch like it's Hello World. Haha, nice. I changed the third shift at midnight to 9 a.m. so I can study while there's low traffic. Oh, nice. That's awesome. Cloud native app stuff? That sounds interesting. Send logout message. I think I gotta do it in 64s. Oh, I need the server con too. I think that's I think I did this. Sock. User ID. Trying to learn web, I just suck. I went for the certification route, but I want to get out of the operations side of IT ASAP. Yeah, there's a lot of, luckily there's a lot of software jobs out there. I think the only ones that I'm gonna do this for, remove from map. I guess this is okay. I'm just gonna use this. This may be like a little bit hacky. And I'm only gonna do it on this message type, which is the world update message type, because all of the other ones, they're like very individual. Best tip is to stick with it and always try one more time. Ain't nothing to it but to do it, I guess. I like that. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. Oh, I wanna do clientcon.sock, and then I wanna do t.userid, I guess. I need to get this rebuilding on my personal. Because I assume these messages that are coming in so frequently are just from here. Let's see if my, because I had to change a lot of the build scripts. Let's see if this still builds. Net.sock, servercon, sock. Yeah, so now I need this cert.pem file. Let's see here, let's go there. So this build, which will build all the files. But I think just to get this to work, I think I'm gonna copy these to the proxy folder. I don't like it, but I also need different configs because this is all wrong now. I think server, oh, there's no config there. That's kind of weird. Is it worth it to practice coding on Linux, or does it not matter if I do it on Windows? I think Linux has generally a better programming experience, so I prefer it. I think it depends on what you're doing. Honestly, if you're gonna make video games, you probably want to use Windows because your target audience is gonna be on Windows mostly. I'm just super dumb, so I used Linux. But if you're doing web service development, most servers are Linux. So like you want to, I think what you should do is try to write code on the operating system that you're mostly going to be deployed to. So like for video games, that's probably Windows. And then for services, that's probably like Linux. Mac's pretty close to Linux in terms of like how it's set up. So thanks, I appreciate that. You'll get there. It just takes time. Nobody's born smart. I think if I do, actually, let's copy this. Big thing I think is most stuff is made for Unix systems. If you look at READMEs, you'll always find instructions for Unix systems, but rarely for Windows. Yeah, that's true. And like Go especially, like most of the stuff, people are expecting you to work on Mac or Linux. Think about using my Java skills for Android apps. I should probably get more into Linux. Yeah, I've never done Android before. I assume they have pretty good support across the board though. We'll just do this instead of copying those files. I can go back here, proxy. Why don't you work? This should go back one, build, cert.pem, okay. Back one, build, privkey.pem. That should work. Magnus Carlsen is born smart. Are you guys following that chess drama? The cheater drama? Is the game supposed to be played in a browser or as an installable app later? I wanted to be able to do both. Like, so that's why the deployment right now, just like, as you can tell here when I'm testing, it runs in Windows, right? But I also have a browser build, so both. The advantage of having an installable app is you can use UDP as your networking protocol, so you can send lower latency messaging basically than TCP. TCP has a few issues with it, which causes the latency to be a little bit higher, or it can cause the latency to be a little bit higher. But you have to use TCP when you're in a browser, as far as I'm aware. There's like Quick that I've heard of. I haven't looked into it yet though, but that might be a better alternative. But I think that's on TCP in a browser. I think it's still on TCP. So those like fundamental TCP issues are still not removed. So what I'm planning to do is I'm planning to have two proxies, one proxy for UDP messages and one proxy for TCP messages, or maybe a proxy that does both. But for now, I'm probably just going to stick to TCP just because it's easier. I like every connection is a WebSocket in my proxy. Oh, it's because I'm running it from the wrong thing. There we go. This should work. Okay, proxy. It's hard in WebRTC. WebRTC is I hate to misspeak, so let me look it up. I was gonna say WebRTC is peer-to-peer, right? I think I read a while ago. I think you need a server to like join the two peers together. Oh, it can't establish a direct serverless communication between arbitrary parties on the internet. I think you can set it up so that one of the peers is the server though. Thanks for stopping in, Steven. Yeah, hope you have a good day. If you want to call with WebRTC, want to exchange media or data with WebRTC and peer-to-peer. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure how to set up WebRTC with a server, but maybe there is a way. I guess I could look into that too. That would be interesting if I could get that to work. But it's like a whole protocol, but maybe there is some way to do it. I'll have to look into it more. Let's do this. We'll do, what do you call it? Like host name? I hate doing it. I hate doing stuff like this. Oops. But I don't really know a good alternative here. Oh, I do want test server. Oh, I can't bind to 443 because I need sudo for that. I really prefer to not have to do this. What's a good number? 7777. Oh, this is connecting to the wrong thing anyways. Missing port and address. Oh, there we go. Nope, didn't work. Oh, I have, that's right. There's, on the client, there is React frontend, React backend, sadly Java. I'm currently working on more DevOps topics like automatic builds and deployments in Kubernetes. Oh, nice. It's a lot of stuff. So you're a polyglot programmer. Yeah, so I have this, no, this should be skipping, shouldn't it? Oh, no, I disabled it because it required Seago. It was really messing up my day the other day. What I really need to do is, I guess I can do this. The problem is that my TLS cert that I use from the proxy connection there's no certificate authority for it. So I can either make a local one for testing, or I do this. Actually, this doesn't work, does it? This doesn't work in browsers. That's why it was failing, because you can't inject the HTTP client in the browser because you have to get the native HTTP client of the browser. What's the easiest thing to do? Actually, what's the best thing to do? I feel like I really flubbed with this socket abstraction. Best thing for what? The best thing for, like, I have, it's hard because I want this to work in like test and production, but then also browser and also desktop. So I open a WebSocket connection here, and that's pretty easy. But if I want to use TLS, which I do, I have to pass in a certificate authority, or I have to, actually, where does this get passed in? I'm not really sure. But in browser, I can't pass in an HTTP client. So it's hard to specify an HTTP client for testing when it's not gonna work in browser. So I guess I could do like a test mode, but it should be a test mode only for desktop. It's just a lot of different, there's a lot of different like configurations that I'm trying to figure out how to organize them best. Actually, here's what I'm gonna do. No, I was thinking what I would do is I'd pass in an HTTP client to the socket when you create it. The problem with that though is I was trying to make a socket which was kind of like a very high level abstraction, and it might use HTTP, it might not. So if you pass in an HTTP client, then it might be, you mean like the game backend in the browser? No, what I mean is, like this is for the, or this is the socket that gets dialed for the connection to the WebSocket server. And like, because I'm using TLS, what you typically would do for testing is you just do insecure skip verify, which lets you skip verifying that the TLS certificate is valid for that host name, right? So you just skip that. But I don't want to do that in production. I do want to do it in testing, but this doesn't work in WebAssembly because you can't inject the HTTP client in WebAssembly. I think I just need to have, I'm just going to pass it in because I think it's got to be a part of the creation thing. I'm just going to do this. I think that this will fix it. It's hard though because I have now if test. So for test mode, we'll get this one, else we'll do this one. Actually, the problem is it failed building because that's what it was. Oh shoot. It's hard because this isn't even going to build for WebAssembly if I leave it like this. I wish they would just have made this the same for, because in the WebAssembly target, when you build this library that I'm using, this doesn't exist. So I almost need to have like another file that's like, hey, here's the WebAssembly build. Here's the, maybe that's the thing to do. Let's do that. Rust features would be nice here. What do they have? I think you do like this, right? I can look here actually. Yeah, underscore awesome. The feature. Oh, they let you do like feature flags. Let's see here. For example, mark a function that is a feature and you can build without the feature. Oh, interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of need to do something similar. It's a little bit annoying that I have to do it in its own file, but it keeps it organized, I guess. And then this returns a net.con, I think. Also returns an error. Okay. Okay. So there's that now. So now instead, this will be like WebSocket con error. Let's dial WebSocket with the context and the URL. I feel like I need to have the test mode here though. Well, this one won't work for, gotta go to Walmart. Talk to you later. See you later, JJ. Have a good one. Oh, actually, I want to do this. No, what just happened? I closed all my windows. And I definitely missed the context net WebSocket S HTTP TLS WebSocket. Or this is the WebAssembly, or this is the browser one, or the desktop one. I mean, context. I think it's lowercase context. Actually, I'm not sure. Is this what it is? Net. I need net HTTP. WebSocket con. Oh, this should be a import not use net. Okay. Just one fix at a time. S dot. Need to include crypto-TLS. Skip verify true. This is client line 194. Actually, I can do config.test here. There you go. Now she works. I think the WebSocket build probably won't work right now. That's actually kind of interesting. Let's do this. We'll open this terminal. Go run, or we'll do tmux. Go run server. No, cd server. cd proxy. And then, okay. Weird, there's no logout message coming back to this. Like it should be printing like, oh, they logged out. What time is it? 11:30. I'm gonna have to go eat lunch. I'm getting a little hungry. Sorry guys. I think I gotta go eat or I'll just starve. Where am I located? I'm in Florida. But I'm on the East Coast. East Coast time. Oh, but it was fun logging into the MMO with all of you guys. That was kind of cool. I'm glad it at least kind of works for some people. Yeah, there we go. Nice. We just need to chat so we can rage at each other and some usernames. Then everyone will know who everyone is. That'll restrict it so people can't just open up tabs though, which is maybe a downside. Or maybe I'll have like a guest button where you can click like the guest button and just be a random user. That's probably what I'll do. Yeah. It seems pretty stable other than the few issues that we have. Like there's obviously like the input issue that's happening on some of the browsers, or it's either browser versions or OSs. There's that issue. Then there's the users getting disconnected issue, which I still haven't figured out, I guess. And there's the there's some serialization problems still happening. I'm not sure what the cause of that one is either, but you know, one day at a time, one bug at a time. Takes time to get it all right, you know. Uh-oh. A lot of users, a lot of people logging in. It's kind of a boring game though right now, But it's cool to just hop in, walk around. Can't wait to get my bill, my usage bill. It's gonna be outrageous. Actually, I want to go to the billing tab. I'm just curious what it looks like. It says I've used 7 cents. Yeah, I should add an alert. I didn't think about that. That's smart. Current month, I've used 7 cents, it says. It should be giving me credit though for using the low tier, because I've only got 1 instance. Yeah, exactly. Like stop it at like $10 or something. Like if you hit $10, just turn everything off. Yeah, pay as you is dangerous. That's how they get you. How do I do that? It's hard to look at your usage, your cost, because they don't show you they show you the usage for like the day before, you know? They don't show you like, oh, today, like here's you per second. It's like here's how much you costed yesterday. Oh, budgets and alerts. Create budget, MMO, monthly. I'll just do all projects, all services. Next, amount, $10. Nice. All right, we have a budget. We're at 7 cents of our $10 budget. I might, because you guys have given me suggestions for other cloud providers that are maybe cheaper. I might switch over to them. Yeah, 7 cents is still cheaper. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I actually do have a Raspberry Pi. It's well, I have an old desktop. I could hook it up to that, and that would be pretty big. That's probably what I might eventually do that. I actually set up this little flash drive with an Arch build for my desktop to boot off of. And then I bought a because I was kind of thinking of along those lines of maybe I'll do that, because like paying $5 for this a month for this tiny little instance is so expensive. Doesn't have any dangerous pay as you go. Yeah, I might try those. It's obviously nicer to not have to manage it myself, but pay $5. Do they give you unlimited bandwidth? 1,000 terabytes a month? Wait, really? Wait, seriously? That's a lot. Let's take a looky, Lou. It doesn't cost a lot. That's nice. Yeah, like as you guys can see, like we log in, like 20 people log into the MMO, and like it's basically 100% in Google Cloud. Like it's using 100% of the instance. What do I want to look at? Oh, pricing. This is a nice clean website. Bandwidth, 2 terabytes. Wow. I mean, this is pretty much like what I have at Google Cloud. And I'd be totally fine paying $6 a month, because 2 terabytes of bandwidth is quite a lot. I might even pay $7 a month. Like that's how much it might cost. I have any plans on how I want to deploy stuff? I haven't like 100% decided what I want to do for that. I kind of almost want to build my own little thing, but that might be too hard. But I had thought about kind of building my own little deployment system to manage it, because I really don't like a lot of the existing stuff requires a lot of like manual stuff. Like I have to go do a lot of manual stuff to get things working, and I don't like that. I'd prefer to just like I don't know. Like I have an idea for kind of what I wanted to do, but it's not really that fleshed out, I guess. But I'm gonna play around with it. Right now I literally have a script that like uploads 2 binaries to this instance, and then like they just run in a Tmux window, as you saw. So that's about as I don't know, that's as drastic as it is right now. But obviously that doesn't scale very well. But in terms of like continuous builds, I'll probably set up GitHub Actions for that. But for the actual deployment, I'm probably not going to use like Kubernetes or anything like that. I'm not going to use anything super heavyweight. Like, yeah, I know Kubernetes would be pretty interesting, but yeah, sorry, buddy. There is the problem with Kubernetes for things like this, I think, is that Kubernetes is very suited for like building web services. So like Kubernetes will automatically like shut down and restart unhealthy instances, but mine's not really. You can't really do that. Like I need to have sticky instances, because people are logged into a specific instance, so I can't just restart it and like reroute traffic. I have to have one instance that everybody talks to. Yeah, I probably don't need the scale either. Like this isn't going to be like this is more of a learning thing and less of a building a product for me. And it like the learning part of, I guess the product part is like making YouTube videos about it. I'm not like trying to make an I'm not trying to make and sell an MMO, I guess. But I'm very interested in the field, I guess. But in terms of like releasing it, like this is it, you know? Like I don't know if there's going to be very much like gameplay added to this game. Like it's mostly just me like, I don't know, goofing around, writing some weird stuff, solving some hard problems. Yeah. Like it would be really hard to, I don't think it would be impossible to turn this into an MMO and like try to sell it. Like if I did, it would probably be something like Realm of the Mad God, where it's like, oh, there's a bunch of bosses on a big island, and like you run around and you shoot those guys, and like there's maybe different classes and stuff like that. Like that would be like the direction that I'm building into, but I'm not trying to like make it I don't know how to explain it. Like this isn't like the bread and butter of, I'm not trying to make money off of this, I guess. I don't know if I'm explaining that well. I feel like I've confused even myself. But there are the other thing I don't want to do, I'm very, and this is maybe a personal problem, but I'm very reluctant to pull in dependencies. So pulling in like Google, or pulling in like a lot of Google Cloud dependencies, or pulling in a lot of like AWS dependencies, or like Terraform or Kubernetes or things like that, like doesn't appeal to me at all. Like to some degree you do have to pull in dependencies, but I would almost rather like I don't really see the point of a lot of that stuff. I feel like it's not that hard, and maybe that's famous last words, but like how hard is a messaging queue really, you know? Like I understand like that, like for the availability that those places provide, it's very hard, you know? But I feel like it's almost, to some degree, it becomes harder to manage using like SQS than it would if I just like had a web server talk to another web server and like that queued it or something. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? It's impossible to tell. I've been wrong before. I've been wrong many times. But anyways, that was a little bit of a rant, I guess. But that'll conclude the stream, everybody. Yeah, I got that vibe when you said creating your own video editor. Oh gosh. Yeah, exactly. Well, I feel like when you start pulling in these things, it's like some problems are really hard to solve. But the way that, like for example, a distributed database like DynamoDB is a really hard problem to solve, you know? But I feel like they solved it in a way that like maximized how much money Amazon would make off of it, which is exactly what they should do, you know? But they didn't make this thing that's like self-hostable and like auto-scaling, like self-auto-scaling and self-hostable. They made this thing that like their engineers manage and you just make API calls to. I guess I would have preferred it, and I don't even know if this is like a realistic goal or a realistic dream, but I would have preferred it if it was the same DynamoDB that we know and love, or DynamoDB is just kind of my example, but the same sort of like distributed database that we love, but not having to pay like an arm and a leg to use it. But DynamoDB is really cheap, so that's maybe a bad example. I don't know. I think there's an interesting, like the whole like cloud infrastructure management stuff, I don't think is like a super solved problem yet. I think it's something that's still, everybody's still figuring out. Like what's the best way to organize this massive cloud infrastructure that a lot of these companies have. And Kubernetes is one solution. I think that like CloudFormation is another solution, but everyone's kind of like throwing stuff at the wall, it feels like. Because I don't think any of them are like really like that good. Kubernetes is just very specific. They do have, man, I just keep going off. I really need to go eat. But last thing, they do have this, I think it's called Agonies or something like that, but it's a Kubernetes like plugin, or for lack of a better word that I don't know. Yeah, it is an endless topic. But there's one that's specifically for game servers, but it's more for like matchmaking type game servers. But I don't know, distributed computing is really, really interesting to me. So I just feel like I'd rather think of it as like a bunch of computers in a data center and less about like, here's my SQS endpoint and here's my database endpoint. Like I'd rather just like have this slurry of things. Yeah, Agonies. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah, this one. So this solves the problem that I mentioned before, which was it keeps them sticky. But it's less for like MMOs. It's more for like when you go play like a first-person shooter, they need to spin up a server for you to play on. That's what this does. Yeah, thanks, Jomi, for stopping by. Thanks for stopping in, buddy. I'm glad you had a good night last night. It sounded like a rager. All right, boys, I gotta go. I gotta go eat. Thanks for playing. Thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Yeah. Getting tired now. Nice. Yeah. See you guys. Have a good one. Bye.